Hello, flashlight enthusiasts. TrustFire was kind enough to send us another flashlight to review and show to the channel to you guys. This is the TrustFire MC1. It's a magnetic EDC flashlight. Real quick, I went ahead and unboxed everything here to show you what you get in the box to save a little bit of time. So first thing we'll do is we'll go ahead and take a look at the box. So max lumens is 1,000 lumens on this flashlight, which is really awesome for such a small light. I mean, they didn't have this kind of stuff, I don't think, 10 years ago. Magnetic flashlight, so it does have a magnet on the end of it and on the side where you can attach it to things. 3-year warranty, and it can use it has an IMR 16340 battery that comes with it, a TrustFire IMR 16340, and you can also use a CR123A battery if you need to. Side of the box there, back of the box. And sorry about the autofocus, guys. Okay, let's go ahead and put that back there, and let's take a look at what else you get in the box. First, this is a magnetic rechargeable flashlight, so you get a magnetic charging cable here that is USB. And I believe this charging cable does have a light on it to indicate the yeah, there it is right there. Let me zoom in. Yeah, right there. So you can see the little light LED port there. So that will tell you the status of the charging. Let's see. You get the user manual for the MC1. And I'll go ahead and put the user manual on the screen. There's 2 sides to this manual. So right now you'll be seeing the first side of the manual. And if you need to check it out further, you can always pause or take a screenshot, and you can zoom in and read what you want about the flashlight. And now I'll go ahead and put the second side of the user manual on the screen. So you should be seeing that now. I'll pause for a moment here so you guys can see that. And again, if you need to look at that, you can take a screenshot or what have you need to do to check that out. So I'll go ahead and put that back. You'll also get a spare O-ring. And you get this little ring with it that you could maybe attach to your keys or whatever you'd like. So very nice there. And you do get a lanyard. So pretty nice lanyard there. Let's see how this one fits on my... I have big hands, so it does fit on my hand. I have large hands, so anyone out there curious, now you know. And so those are the items you get with the MC1 flashlight here. So let me go ahead and set these things aside so we can talk about the flashlight itself. First, we'll take a quick overlook of the flashlight itself. So MC1, it's got some very nice knurling here, both on the center part of the flashlight and on the tail cap. You do have this reversible pocket clip, and you do have some heat sinks here to dissipate the heat. This is the switch for the flashlight, the button, and it does have a battery level indicator on the button, which is always nice. I always like that feature in the flashlights. Let's take a look at the tail, TrustFire. And you got on the other side the TrustFire logo. And this is where the magnetic cable would attach to charge the flashlight. And this magnet can also be used to hold it to things. I'll go ahead and put some pictures on the screen here of how this flashlight could be used with the 2 magnets. You got the magnet on the tail and the magnet here on the side like I just told you. So very nice there. Okay, the emitter on this flashlight is a Cree XP high LED, good for about 50,000 hours. It has what they call a Lotus Light optical lens. This is made of aerospace aluminum AL6061-T6, and it is military spec type 3 hard anodized for an anti-abrasive finish. So very nice, pretty standard stuff. Now size. Let's talk about the size of this flashlight. As you can see, it is quite small, as you can see in my hand here. So very pocketable, very easy. You could probably attach this to a ball cap or something and use it as a headlamp. Very cool there. I always like when I can do this with some of the smaller flashlights here, the EDC flashlights. So size. So let's take a quick look. We'll tell you the specs, but just to show you real fast. Hopefully this is in focus. So here, just slightly over 2¼ inches. I'll do it with another one here too. Let's see if I can get that line just lined up right. Sorry if the autofocus is off, guys. So yes, very small. So let's go over the specs here. Size-wise, it's 56 millimeters in length, or 2.2 inches. And the diameter of the flashlight is 20 millimeters, or 0.78 inches in diameter, okay? The net weight of the flashlight here is 44.5 grams, or 1.56 ounces, and that weight is with the battery that comes with the flashlight inside it. This does have what they call a constant current circuit for constant brightness. This helps with any flicker. Older flashlights, not necessarily TrustFire, you could see in some of these older LED flashlights, the LED would flicker a bit. And so that's what that constant current circuit is all about, making sure you have a steady brightness on the flashlight. This does have intelligent temperature control, so it will step down if it gets too hot. Pretty standard on most flashlights nowadays, but always a good feature to have. You don't want it to get too hot and burn up or destroy the flashlight, so very good there. As I said here, you have a magnetic tail cap on this flashlight, and you have a magnetic port here on the side, which can also be used to attach it to things. So you have basically two magnets you could use to attach this either sideways or by the tail. So very nice. And really quick, like obviously with most flashlights, and you can probably already tell, this flashlight will tail stand, so you could use it as a small lantern if you needed to. So very good there. Waterproofing, this is IPX8 waterproof, so very good there. Impact resistance up to 1.5 meters, so you should be good if you drop it on a relatively short distance, 1.5 meters or less. This does have an electronic lockout function to prevent you accidentally turn it on. So let's say you have put this in your purse or your pocket. You can lock it out, so it should not turn on in your purse or your pocket or your backpack or whatever, so that's good. Good to know there. We will go over that, how to use that function in the UI coming up here. It comes with the TrustFire 16340 lithium ion battery. So let's go ahead and open it up here and take a look. You do have this little insulator here to prevent it from operating in transit. So I'll set that to the side, pull out the battery here, and I'll zoom in a bit. So this is a TrustFire IMR 16340 battery. I believe it's 650 milliamp hours. I don't know if it says it on here. Yep, right there, 650 milliamp hours. So capacity. So very nice. I always like when the manufacturers go ahead and give you the battery with the flashlight. I'll set that down here. Take a quick look at the tail cap. Pretty simple string there. Spring, misspoke, sorry. And let's go ahead and see if we can take a look down inside the flashlight itself. So a little hard to see down there, but there you go. Now, one other thing I want to talk about, this does have what they call an anti-reverse battery design to prevent reverse polarity damage to light. So apparently if you put the battery in backwards by accident, it should not operate, which would destroy your flashlight because the polarity would be reversed. So very good to know there. I'm going to go ahead and put the battery back inside now. Line up the threads here. There we go. Once the threads are lined up, it does go in there pretty smoothly. So very nice. All right, went over the battery, so let's go ahead and talk about the power level indicator here. And I'll go ahead and, I think I can do this now. You just lightly press it, and I'll turn off this light so you can maybe see it a bit more. It will show you the battery level for a few seconds here, so you can check the battery level anytime. Go ahead and turn the light back on. So let's go over. You just saw it show green here. So green means your battery is between 50 and 100%. If it's yellow, your battery is between 20 and 50%. If it's red, your battery is between 5 and 20%. and flashing red 0 to 5%, which means your battery is very low and you probably want to replace or recharge it prior to any extended use. So you should have also possibly seen that on the screen too, just after I showed you the button lighting up there. So very good there. This does have a low battery indicator on the light as well. If the battery is below 10% while you're operating it, the light will triple flash every minute. So you'll see the light flashing 3 times every minute to let you know, hey, your battery is low and you need to replace or recharge the battery immediately if you want to continue to use it. Let's see. Magnetic USB recharging. So I'll go ahead and put some shots here on the screen showing that. There's a little LED indicator on the charging cable. If it's red, that means the flashlight is charging. If it's green, that means the flashlight is fully charged. Okay, and this does have memory mode, and we'll show that when we go through the UI. So the outputs. So a little confusion here on the outputs. And I actually looked around for this on the internet for a while, trying to find out what's going on. So I'm going to put on the screen real quick here in the user manual where it shows you the outputs, okay? What it shows you in the manual is low, medium, and high, but this light actually has 4, well, I guess 5 total outputs, but 4 main outputs before the special mode, which is strobe. So I have a, I'll try to show this in the UI. I have a control light I use from another manufacturer that is capable of about 1 lumen. So I estimate this MC1 does start out in a very low mode, low lumens. We'll call it extra low for the for this. But I estimate that lumen output is between 0.5 lumen and 1 lumen. And what I'll do is in the UI here, I'll show you a comparison of the 1 lumen flashlight I have by a very reputable manufacturer I've had for many years. Actually, I used to use as my control light in my earlier videos. And I'll compare that to the lowest mode here on the MC1. The next one is low, 15 lumens, supposed to run for about 35 hours. You have medium, 168 lumens for about 2.3 hours. High, 1,000 lumens, pretty amazing for such a small flashlight, put out 1,000 lumens. And it's a bright 1,000 lumens, so I think you'll be impressed. Says here 2.15 hours. I put an asterisk next to it because most likely it's going to get hot, it's going to step down, so just be aware of that. Now, a lot of people think that once it gets hot, steps down, you can't get it back to go back into high. Well, you can. Once the flashlight cools back down, you can pop it back into a high 1,000 lumens in most of my experience with flashlights. And strobe is kept also at the high mode of 1,000 lumens. No runtime given, but I imagine it would last for quite a while. So very nice there. So I was again surprised that they listed the low, medium, and high mode as the normal modes. And of course they list strobe, but they didn't have the lower mode listed on here. And I like I said, I searched around the internet looking for it, went on their website. I also sent out an email to TrustFire asking about this. So if I do get some more information about that, I will put it on the screen here when I go through the editing process. And also, this has a max throw, as I said earlier in the beginning of the video, 129 meters and about a beam intensity of 4,161 candela. So very nice there. I look forward to taking this outside to test it out in the dark. I have not taken that outside as of yet, so you and I will be doing it together for the first time here. So when the sun goes down later tonight, as long as it's not raining and thunderstorming here in Florida and the bugs aren't too crazy, we'll go ahead and take it out and test it outside and see how it does in the dark. So anyway, let's go ahead and do the UI real quick, the user interface coming up next here. Let me go ahead and turn the camera off here. Let me set up for the UI and we'll do that next. Okay, the UI or user interface on the TrustFire MC1 magnetic EDC flashlight. So real quick, before we get into showing you the UI, I'm going to put up on the screen a shot of the user manual showing the output modes on this flashlight. As you can see, they list low, medium, high, and strobe. But this flashlight actually has 4 lower modes before you go to strobe. And for some reason they don't list it, as I discussed earlier. So with that said, we're going to start out here with the flashlight. So pretty easy to operate this flashlight. So to turn it on, you're just going to hold down the side switch here for a moment. And it's going to turn on what I'm calling this extra low. I estimate this is about a half a lumen. So right around a half a lumen, pretty close. So I have the MC1 here in my left hand, and I'm going to bring out my control light. It's from a very reputable manufacturer that I've used a lot in my earlier flashlight videos, and I still have this flashlight. So it is a bit of a thrower. So it's going to have a bit more of a hot spot, but it has its lowest mode at 1 lumen. So here's the MC1 on the left, and here is the control light I'm using here on the right, which is 1 lumen, but again, a bit more of a hot spot because it is a thrower. So that's 1 lumen compared to the MC1, 1 lumen. So, and to be fair, I do have the TrustFire T40R here also. If you haven't checked out that video, it's a pretty awesome flashlight, guys. So I recommend you check out that video. It is up on my channel, the TrustFire T40R. Awesome flashlight. So its lowest mode is 1.8 lumens. So I thought, to be fair, I would go ahead and use their flashlight to show their low mode on this flashlight. So 1.8 lumens, and again, the T40R is a bit of a thrower as well as the earlier flashlight I showed. But the reason I use the control light is because it has the lowest output of 1 lumen. So it's the closest to probably this half a lumen with the MC1. So anyway, enough of that, moving on. Let's go ahead and bump it up into the next mode, which is going to be low. And so to do that, you're just going to press the side switch once. Quick tap, brings you up to 15 lumens. This is a really nice 15 lumens, guys. I mean, if you have light, if you need to do light discipline, let's say you want to walk around your house at night, you don't want to disturb too many people, have this bright flashlight shining through the house. This could be great for that. I would say as long as you're in a familiar area, it should be just fine. Inside the house, I think you would have no problem. If you use this outdoors, as long as I would say you're a pretty familiar area, let's say you're walking around your own backyard or whatever, I think this is plenty of light probably for most people to be able to see and walk around safely in the dark. And again, it's got 35 hours of runtime. So if you're, I don't know, if you're in some kind of strange situation where you're out in the woods and it goes dark and you got to navigate your way out of there, having 15 lumens with a runtime of 35 hours, it gives you a pretty long time to use this flashlight to walk around and move around and these kinds of things. So I think it makes it a really good EDC flashlight with that 15 lumen capability for 35 hours. Okay, so medium, next one up. Pressing the side switch again. 168 lumens, runtime is supposed to be about 2.3 hours. Very nice. You can see a bit of a hot spot in the middle. It's a pretty wide hot spot, and of course you have the spill. This is probably more of a flood beam. So really nice there. And let's go ahead and bump it up to high, 1000 lumens. Guys, very, very bright, very impressive for such a small flashlight to have this lumen output, 1000 lumens. Really, really awesome. These LED flashlights have improved so much in the last 10 to 15 years from what they started out as many of you would know. So if you bump it again, the side switch just goes back to the lowest mode again, which I'm calling extra low, probably about a half lumen, as I said. So to turn the flashlight off, you're just going to hold down the side switch and the flashlight turns off. Now I want to test the memory. Let's make sure it does have memory. So we'll turn the flashlight back on. We'll bump it up to medium here, and we'll turn the flashlight off, and we'll turn it back on. And sure enough, it goes right back to medium, 168 lumens. We'll cycle back through, so when I go outside, I can start out in the lowest mode, 15 lumens. So very good there. Go ahead and turn this off. Okay, so strobe. This is a strobe warning. Now, the strobe's a little weird, so you have to have the flashlight off, and you just hold down the side button for a couple seconds, it will go into strobe. So again, a strobe warning. But what it's first going to do is you'll see it will turn on like it's turning on normally. It will show the last mode we were on, which in this case was the extra low mode, and then it will jump into strobe. So you'll see that, I think, now. So let's go ahead and go into strobe here, holding down the button. See how it turned on to its last mode, the extra low mode, half a lumen. It's got a nice alternating flash pattern here, so very good for disorienting someone or something if you need to. So I always liked when they have this kind of strobe on flashlights where it has a different pattern to it. So it can be quite disorienting. All right, enough of the strobe there. Press the button again. You're just going to go back into the last mode you used. And again, to turn it off, you just hold the button down. Now, as I said in the beginning of the video, this does have a lockout version, an electronic lockout on this flashlight. So in order to do that, when the flashlight is off, you're going to double click. So let's go ahead and do that now. So a quick double click. You're going to see the flashlight then flash twice, kind of slowly. And if you try to turn the flashlight on or anything, it's just going to flash again, let you know, hey, I'm in lockout. You need to unlock me to get back into normal modes. In order to unlock it, you just do the same thing, you double click, and the flashlight will turn back on to its last or lowest mode. So there you go. So pretty simple user interface here on the MC1 flashlight. I'm excited to take this outside and test it out here in the dark, see how it does. So we'll go ahead and do that next here. I just got to wait for the sun to go down, and we'll go ahead and see how the MC1 performs outside in the dark. I am going to charge the flashlight fully up to make sure it's fully charged and ready to go for the outdoor beam shots. So that's coming up next, guys. We'll see you outside. All right, the sun has finally set here in sunny Florida in late August, and the bugs are definitely out, so I'm going to try to hurry this along as much as I can while showing you all the beam shots you've been waiting for. So we're going to start out in what I now call extra low, as this Lumens output was not listed in their user manual as I showed you earlier. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on here. Again, this is probably about a half a lumen. It's actually doing a pretty good little hot spot on the ground. You can see actually pretty well. I can almost see the bird bass over here. I'll angle the camera up a little bit. And the bird bass are, well, they're right about there. But I can see them with my eye, but this is only a half a lumen, so I wouldn't really expect a whole lot from a half lumen, but you could use it to read, and if you're in a pretty familiar area, I think you could manage to walk around, and I imagine this would run for quite a long time at a half a lumen, so if 15 lumens runs for 35 hours, I imagine this would run for quite a long time. All right, so let's bump up to the low mode that's listed. This is 15 lumens, and you can see it's doing very well. You can see the bird bass over there. I mean, this is 15 lumens, and you have this for 35 hours, guys. So this is pretty awesome. I mean, you could definitely walk around at night with this, I think, and be just fine, especially if it's a familiar area. You always have to be careful. You can even see the tree stump out there, which is a good 120, 125 feet maybe from me. So this is 15 lumens. This is their low mode for the MC1, doing very, very well. So let's go ahead and bump it up to medium, 168 lumens. Oh yeah, definitely lighten up everything really, really well. You can see the tree stump out there, right there, yep. So 168 lumens, doing really awesome. And let's go and bump up to high, 1000 lumens. And wow, for such a small light, guys, this is doing really, really awesome. You can see the trees all the way in the background. So let me take a walk out there, and on the way back I'll probably drop it down so I'm not blinding you and lighting up the neighbor's house behind me. So let me take a walk out there and see how it looks at 1000 lumens. All right, so I walked back there for a while at 15 lumens, back to 1000 lumens, extra low, and now back to 15 lumens, which again does really, really well. So I am very impressed with this small EDC flashlight from TrustFire, the MC1. I will have links and any coupons that are available in the description, so be sure to check that out, please. And I would like to say another thank you to TrustFire send me the MC1. So I really appreciate them supporting the channel and sending out lights to show you guys here on the channel. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and you guys take care and have a good one, and happy lumens. We'll see you in the next video.